Welcome to the first week of Spreadsheets. I'm Professor Amy Moore, and I'd like to take a little moment to go over how I have Canvas laid out and your textbook, give you a little short video to help you along with the semester. A lot of you get to Canvas via the portal, and that's great. You can also find Canvas at vsc.instructure.com. I always use that rather than going through the portal. It saves me a few clicks. On your dashboard, you'll find this course. I have renamed mine. If you click on these little three dots, you have the ability to give the course its own name rather than the big long mumbo jumbo of letters and numbers that the college gives it so the registrar can keep track of it. You can also pick the color that you want for it. And the color isn't so as important here as it is in your calendar. And I will be very good about having all the deadlines for these assignments and quizzes and projects in the class assigned with deadlines so that you'll be able to see them in the calendar. While we're here, I also want to put out the Canvas menu. This left menu here is available even when you're within our particular Canvas course. The little speedometer gives us the dashboard. The book gives us courses including old courses. And here's your calendar, your inbox, and some other information that you're not likely to use as a student. But probably the most important one here is your profile, which may or may not have a picture on it. If you click on that, you'll see an image of you if you have one. One of your assignments this week is to update or to include a profile picture. If your profile picture violates any of the rules, such as using logos or copyrights or images that aren't of you, please read the document that goes with that assignment. You can change your picture by clicking on Settings here. And then you can click on the little edit button with your profile picture here. And this is where you can upload a picture. Or if you're using your phone, you can take a picture right here using the application. Back on the dashboard, we'll click on our class. Now, the course is organized by modules. There's other ways to look at material. It can be possible to find material I didn't mean you to find by clicking on assignments and discussions over here. Always follow through the modules. That's how the course is laid out. That's how it's going to make sense. We do have a module called Course Resources. This gives you information on how to install your free 5 licenses of Office. This is a detailed syllabus, which is more important for the Flex class, but there's a couple paragraphs in there about the stats for this course. It takes approximately 80 hours, or about 5 hours a module, to do this class. You should not have a module 0. Some of you were here early and answered some of those questions from the old Flex course. I have removed that for your copy. So here we are with module 1. That's this week. It starts on Tuesday. Every module will be designed like this. There will be an overview and objectives at the top, reading and resources, with at least a page that describes the reading and resources. If there are discussions, they'll appear next. There are always assignments, so they'll come here. If there are projects, you'll see projects like you see all these other headings with whatever projects you're working on. We have quizzes and we have self-assessments. I'm going to assume that overview objectives are a fairly standard understanding here. It explains what we're about to do. Even if you get it from the title of the module, it's worth reading this. It preps your brain to store the information that you're about to see. So it's a good idea to read the overview and objectives. And this does tell us exactly what from the essential objectives we're going to be doing. We have readings and resources. Sometimes you will have readings and resources that are other than the textbooks. There are 2 textbooks for every student. There is an essential objectives and there is an expert objectives. There is also free basic objectives available on Spark's website, and that's what I've linked to here. But these are also included in the essential objectives text. I also happen to give you the one file that you're going to be working with in your homework and instructions on how to download the course files for your text. Click on that. This is the author of the text. He has the sample files for the book. Make sure you get the sample files for the book you're working with. You could have books other than what I have asked for, and that's okay. You're welcome to work with older books. The page numbers won't match, the lesson numbers may not match, but the words will match. So follow the word descriptions of the lessons, and that will really help you. At a minimum in this class, I'm sure we have some people working on Mac and some people working with Windows. This class is taught in Windows. So if you have a Mac, in a rare situation, this is the only textbook that offers the same material for both Windows and Mac users. So you do have a textbook that will show you your examples, the way your computer works, and using the keys that your computer uses, like command instead of control. Now I am going through the course and updating the course with the correct lesson numbers for the current January 22nd version of the Windows textbook. If I miss some, I apologize. Just know that the words are correct. Now, a couple things I like about the textbook. It's very well written. He uses very easy to understand language, but he doesn't talk below us. All of the lessons are on two facing pages. So when you open your textbook like this, you see lesson 1, and the whole lesson is here. And it steps through with images what you need to do. The sidebars are amazing, and they're really helpful for learning some deep, juicy nuggets about Excel. I encourage you to read them. There will be questions on the quiz and quizzes off of the sidebars as well as the main text. If you haven't bought your books and you don't need financial aid, I do really encourage the ebooks directly from the author. They're a little less expensive and they're color. And I really like the color part. You also have the right to print them as much as you want. So if a particular lesson is giving trouble, you know, it help you to print it out. You can totally print it out and read it from paper. This week we do have a discussion. We don't have a lot of them. And the reason I don't do a lot of discussions is generally there's not a lot to discuss about spreadsheets. It's pretty much a do this happens kind of thing. The discussions we do have after this week do have us sharing our work. We'll be doing surveys, we'll be making charts and graphs, and we'll be sharing things that we found on the internet that are worthy of discussion. Some students have said they miss the camaraderie they get from a lot of discussions. It's very hard to do work via discussion. I'd love to teach a synchronous version of this class sometime where we meet on Zoom. I can totally see that kind of discussion can help build a class as we work on things together. But since this is an asynchronous class, that's not anything that we can do in the discussions. Discussions are fairly straightforward. In this one, I ask you to introduce yourself. I have gone ahead and made an example for myself, although I don't really need to learn things about this module's assignments. Do your best to follow the instructions and introduce yourself to the class. That'd be great. Assignments are set up and they are named with a common naming syntax. So it's always going to start with the module that we're in, which is currently Module 1, and then it'll say assignment number. So Module 1, Assignment 1, Module 2, Assignment 2. And then after that, of course, it describes what it actually is. If you are communicating with me via Canvas or email, you need to include this information if you're asking a question about an assignment. Most of the assignments will also have steps. Here we're reading and doing the text is essentially what's happening, and that's a lot of what our assignments are going to be. Sometimes you'll upload all the files as you read and do the text. Sometimes you'll only upload a finalized file. In this particular one, we are just doing one file. I do want to point out that Module 1 Assignment 2 is recovering versions of drafts is something that Mac computers cannot do. So you cannot do this assignment as described. You just open the assignment and follow the instructions that are in there and submit the final assignment. For assignment number 3, you're going to create a Google account. If you already have one, a Gmail address, please just post that. If you do not have a Gmail address or you do not want to use your personal Gmail for the class, it's totally fine. I do have a video on how to do this. If you need help, let me know by email or Canvas messaging, and I'll send you a link to that video. And finally, you have to update your Canvas profile picture. All discussions and assignments, our class starts on Tuesday. They will be due Sunday at midnight. This gives me a day to go over everyone's work and make any adjustments to the following module if I need to, and prepare any instruction that would help the whole class. All quizzes, if we have them, you have 2 weeks to finish, or a day shy of 2 weeks. So this quiz on basic skills session 1, which has questions written out of the textbook, that is due a week from this Sunday. Now, if you're a Mac user, my experience is there are a couple questions in here that behave differently for Mac users, and some Mac users have got them wrong. Please take the quiz and then email me with any questions you feel that are graded incorrectly so I can go in and fix those. You will need to tell me you're on Module 1, quiz the quiz. Some modules do have more than one quiz. And tell me which question number. Canvas randomly assigns those questions, so I need help narrowing down to where I need to help you. You do have the ability to take these quizzes multiple times, and Canvas will keep the highest score no matter what. And finally, we have these self-assessments. Every module, I ask you for a self-assessment. I've been doing these for many years now, and I'm sure some students feel they're a waste of time, but they are incredibly valuable to me. You don't have to spend a lot of time on these. Read the question, answer the question, be candid. You can't get them wrong. The only way you get a 0 on your self-assessments is if you don't do them. These are an assignment that I need to have done on time because, again, I'm going to use these Monday afternoon to prepare anything that I need to prepare to go over before the next module and send out any kind of instruction that would help the whole class. They're easy. They're also a place if you want to ask me questions. And that may be not related exactly to an assignment that we did. This is a great place for you to get more feedback from me. So use this to your advantage if you'd like. It's pretty easy. Just a couple more things about assignments. Nothing is late until I grade it. I'll probably say that a dozen more times over the course of the semester. If I get behind, you're in luck if you're running late. Please don't email me and ask me for extensions. Just do your work. If you've already received a 0 for something, do the work, submit it. Leave me a comment as to why it's been late, even if it was I had to have a mental health week and I was late this week. It doesn't need to be a great reason. You just want to know why, what's going on with you. I reserve the right to take 20% off of late material. I'll almost always take 20% off of late material that your classmates are relying on. Other assignments I tend to be a little flexible with. Well, that's it. I hope that helps you get an idea of what we're going to do this semester, how things are laid out, where to find your resources. And email me if you have any questions. Please follow the instructions that I included. Canvas message. If you didn't get that message, please make sure you adjust your notification settings in Canvas so that you are getting your notifications of announcements. I will do at least one a week. Everyone have a great week. Talk to y'all later.